Gamers, today we are doing a tier list unlike any tier list we've done before. In fact, this tier list was so hard that I actually asked you guys at my Twitter, @ScoochLol, to give me your opinions so that I can create this list. Today, we're gonna do something that's gonna make some people cry, all right? It's gonna make some people happy, it's gonna make some people sad, and it's definitely gonna piss a lot of people off. Today, what we're doing is the hardest champion in League of Legends tier list. Now, before we get into it, if you want to participate in things like this and throw your input as well, don't forget to follow me @ScoochLol on Twitter.com because I throw polls there and ask questions all the time that we turn into banger content. Now, let's jump into the tier list. Aatrox. Now, the thing about Aatrox, right, is that he definitely has a lot of skill cap to him. Like, his skill ceiling is very, very, very high. On top of that, Aatrox was one of the characters that in the Gore Drinker meta, he took over just because of his ultimate enhanced self-healing. And now that they nerfed the shit out of that, and they added a ton of grievous wounds in the game, and they just did every single thing they can to negate this champion, playing him is like 9 times more difficult. I also want to say that Aatrox had one of the nerfs of all time. Aatrox's whole thing is that he doesn't die. And you know what they did for the nerf? They removed his passive that made him not die. That's easily one of the shittest nerfs I've ever seen because canonically, it removed something from the character. On top of that, his Qs, you have to get good at using your Q and your E. And then they nerfed his mobility on his E. Jesus Christ, that stinks. So now when you Q, you have one chance to make it work with your E, and if it doesn't, you better hope to God that they're dumb enough to just stand there. I mean, you could flash if you want, but so can they. I would say that Aatrox is insanely difficult. However, I won't say do not main because Aatrox's third Q, his W, and just the mobility on his ultimate makes it a little bit easier to become good at Aatrox just because he has some tools in his kit that will make him good even if you keep missing shit. So bada bing. We're putting Aatrox in insanely difficult, but you can still play him and you can still learn him. Azir, dude, it's the exact same case as Aatrox in a sense that when Azir came out, he was a monster. I don't know if you guys remember, but Azir's ultimate, you used to not be able to jump over it. You couldn't jump over it. If you tried, the fucking soldiers would bounce you back like a goddamn God of War character. They used to just bounce you back. And then there was bugs where he would like ult you to the wall and he would just stay there bouncing because the soldiers knocked you into it. On top of that, when he used to E into you, he would knock you up a little bit and he would gain a shield. But now he just gains the shield. So Azir is missing out on a lot of the tools that made him super effective before. He's been nerfed into the ground like 30 times. And on top of that, even when he was super duper duper good in the game, he was still hard as shit to play with the tools that he had before. As in very, very hard to play. I'm gonna try to do the Azir dash, okay? The Shuriman shuffle. It's like you Q in one direction, you E in one direction, and then you Q, right? And then you dash in a line. You go boom, boom, right? All right, so you throw the W out, and then you can E to the W. But you can also Q and then E, or you can throw, hold on, I'm trying to get this. Okay. You throw this out, and then you E towards it, and then you Q that way so that you can dash. You can do the wanted curve the bullet shit. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird, dude. You need such a massive brain to play this character. Like, you really do. Check this out. I'm about to do a sick juke. I in, and then I go over there. Oh, look at that, dude. All right, you ready? I'm going to do one more sick Shuriman shuffle, and then we're going to get into it. Ready? This is called the Azir Lee Sin technique. Spawn enemy dummy. Put him here, right? Okay, there he is. I'm gonna put a ward so that we can see him. And now let's say that my homies are over here. And I need to get this guy over here. What I do is I throw this over here, and then I E, and then I Q, and then I R. Look at that! It's so hard, bro! It's hard. It's hard, bro. It's hard. On top of that, Azir's ratios are just dog shit right now. He's also super duper easy to kill. He's a very easy guy to kill. You could just jump on him. Just jump on him. What's he gonna do? He's gonna throw this out? People can jump over it now. They don't do the shit they used to. The only thing that Azir has going for him is his insane range. He actually does get insane range. But repositioning your soldiers in fights, and like actually getting them where they need to be in order to do everything correctly, like, it's so hard. It's ridiculous. You have to... he is like 3 Orianas in one. You have to think like Orianna, except it's 3 balls instead of 1 ball. So I don't think Azir's in a good spot. And even if he was in a good spot, he's hard as shit. And the reason why I can prove that is because when Azir was a god in all LCSs, LCK, whatever, people still didn't want to pick him up. People still didn't want to main Azir when he was at his best because he was too high skill. So Azir is our first do not main too hard champion. Kalista, it's crazy because Kalista... What Akali? Bro, are we adding Akali? Chat, I'm going to let you guys decide. Are we adding Akali in this listing? No, no, yes, no, no, yes, no, 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 yes, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Tell you what, I'll do it. I'll put Akali just to do it, okay? Akali has a Q that she cannot miss if she's close range. She has an E that's a skill shot. Okay, that's hard. She has a lock-on ultimate, and then she has another dash in her ultimate. She has a way to be invisible the entire time. Okay, she's kind of hard to master. Let's be honest. All the champions in this game are. But besides that, that's an easy peasy for me, baby. I'm not going to put Akali on it. I'm going to put her back down here. All right, Kalista. Kalista is... The reason why Kalista is hard isn't innately because of Kalista. You know what I mean? The thing that makes Kalista hard is that she basically exploits a mechanic that every ADC does, and that's auto spacing, right? You attack, you click away. You attack, you click away. You attack, you click away. But it's not like she is severely harmed by it. Yes, Kalista has no range, so she has to hop a lot. On top of that, predicting how much damage your E does is pretty hard. That's something that takes a lot of games to learn. And Kalista can only be a support, can only be an ADC because she needs somebody to ult with her R. Even though the most recent time she was in the meta, she was a top laner, right? Like, it's just, she is an okay champion. Because her E, it's all about auto-attacking and then pressing your E button. Her W, vision. Not that hard. Her R, your support is the one that's supposed to figure it out. Her Q, yes. You can attach a bunch of spears to someone, throw your Q through it so that they stick onto the target behind it and then rend. And that's a very, very, very hard thing to do. But if you land that, that's on the enemy being fucking stupid. It's not because you outplayed them. You didn't sit there and stack 100 fucking spears in a gromp and then outplay them with it. No, they were just dumb enough to see 1 million spears in a gromp that had 10 health and stand in line of your Q. You know what I mean? So it's just, I would say that Kalista's okay. Because again, auto spacing, she's not the only person that has to auto space. And her only skill shot is her Q. And her Q oftentimes isn't even worth using because it slows down your auto attacks. You know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever. No CC besides R. That doesn't make her difficult. You just have to peel for it. You know, that's on her sucking. She's okay because she's not hard to play. She's just, you'll just have a hard time on her because she's bad. You know? Do not main, not worth the mastery. She's okay. She's all right. You can play her if you want. She fucking sucks, but whatever. Add a tier for Alawi called Trash Champ. You want to know what sucks the most about Alawi? That I wish that I could sit here and lie to you guys and be like, Alawi's actually so high skill. In order to play Alawi good, you have to be so big brained and you have to do all of these things correctly. Land your E. Land your E. Land your E. Oh, did Alawi land her E? You did it. You win. Congratulations. Laning phase, did she land her E? Congratulations, everybody. Landy. Just Landy. Oh, you throw your Q and you missed. Q again. Just Q again. R, W, Q again. You know, it's just like Alawi, unfortunately, because I want to sit here and pretend like Alawi's a difficult character. The difficulty in playing Alawi comes from being blessed and finding people stupid enough to not walk away when you ultimate. In this meta, you have to find people who are just dumb enough to not leave you when you ult. And that's difficult. I mean, if you want to sit in queue for 10 days until you find an enemy team that's just dumb enough to do it. But besides that, she does nothing. She does nothing. She just press R and then hope they stay. You know, put a welcome rug out. You know, make them feel, give them some coffee. So I'll put Alawi in okay. She's all right. Ryze is difficult for so many more reasons than people think he is. Number one, he's immobile as shit. Ryze just has to run at you. And hopefully he can. Without getting blown up, without getting one-shotted, he can run at you. CSing on Ryze is unique and different, right? His Q is a skill shot. His E is a skill shot. And his ultimate doesn't give him that much of a power spike. It gives him some stats, doesn't it? Let me check real quick. When you get his ultimate, increases overload's damage against targets that are marked with spell. That's it. It just makes you deal more damage. But Ryze, he's difficult in the sense that you need to know his spell rotations. You need to find a way to survive in a hyper-mobile meta. On top of that, your ultimate is just 9 times out of 10, let's be honest, in solo queue, your ultimate's just not worth using. In fact, you guys want to see the Ryze power spike, bro? You guys want to see the Ryze power spike? Let me blow you guys away. All right, let's open the practice tool so I can show you how impactful Ryze ult is at level 6. You guys ready to be blown away? Check this out. Ready? Look at my ultimate move. Boom. We can time it. We can time it. Here is a ward. Okay? We're going to time it. Stand as far back as possible on the ward. 4 seconds, okay? It took me 4 seconds to get to that ward. Ready? It's faster to walk. Using his ultimate slows you. It's just a detriment. Look at my items. I want you to take a look at my items. What did I buy? I don't have fucking shoes. I didn't buy shoes. It literally is faster to walk than use his mobile ulti at level 6. Okay, all right. It is still faster to walk. It is still faster. Walking is still faster. It's so dog shit. Oh, but you can get over walls. There's that. But look, bro. Look, this is level 3 ultimate. Look. Wait, that's minimum range? How does it work? How do you make it longer? Am I dumb? Wait, does his indicator? Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. I'm stupid. I'm so dumb. Oops. I'm so dumb. Why does it show this? Why does it show this? Why does it show that? Oops. Hey, look. I'm sorry. All right. Hey, all right. Boom. There you go. All right. It's long. You can make things happen. All right. Whatever. His ult at level 3 is sick. Okay, it's sick. Let's be honest. At level 3, his ultimate is sick. Is it better than any of the other champions on this list? Definitely not. Is it better than Zeds or Cassios or Gangplanks or Anivias or Katarinas or Lydias? No, it's not. In solo queue, it's definitely not. But yeah, anyways, Ryze, I think he's dog shit. I don't think he's worth maining, but I don't think he's as hard as Azir. So because of that, I'll put him in the Aatrox tier. He's okay. He's all right. Katarina is interesting. The crazy thing about Katarina is, as much as I want to say that she's not difficult, because haha, she go in, she press R, and then you die. Katarina is hard as shit. She is hard as shit. There, literally, I need you to understand that when Katarina ultimates, almost every champion can stop her. Almost every single champion can stop her. You need to understand how and exactly where to ultimate on Katarina. You need to understand exactly where to ultimate on her. On top of that, balancing your daggers, using your daggers, etc., etc. Playing her well is ridiculously hard. On top of that, half the roster just negates her. Like, she's so ridiculously easy to negate. Like, if you just choose somebody with point and click hard CC, she's gone. Katarina can't harass you that much either in lane, so if you do end up going Crown of the Shattered or whatever, what's she gonna do? She's gonna Q in and then Q again? She feels like dog shit. Going against her, you feel like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? But, you know, it's just besides that, she's very hard. CSing on her is difficult. Laning is difficult. Like, if people harass you correctly, you get kind of shafted. There are specific characters that are like in the fuck you tier, which isn't the tier in this, but it is a specific character where it's like, if you're that character, it is like you're the last human and the enemy team is all zombies. They do not give a fuck about what happens to them. They will die to kill you. Katarina is 100% in that tier list. It doesn't matter if they used everything just to kill you. If you are Katarina, they will run you down. They will run you down 100%, and they will murder you. If I see you, you need to die. I don't care about my life. I don't care about their lives. I don't care about my team. I'm gonna kill her like she owes me money. So Katarina, I would say that Katarina still goes in the insanely difficult. But before we continue with this list, did you know that the majority of the people watching this aren't subscribed? Look, we're releasing content daily these days, and I think you would have a blast subscribing because they're all banger videos, and honestly, I would love to have you around. Whether you subscribe or you don't, I will love you just the same, but please do. Really helps the channel out, and ring that bell as well so that you don't miss a banger. And let's continue. Now, Lilia, the thing that sucks about Lilia, and I'm gonna hate saying this, is that Lilia is very, very easy to play. She's a very easy champion. Q, E, W. Her Q, oh, but you have to be a little bit out of range. Doesn't matter. She moves 4 times faster than every other champion in the game. The thing that sucks about Lilia is that she's a very easy champion, but chances are you're gonna be cucked, not because she's hard to play, but because it's hard to play with Lilia. Everyone on your team needs to know what your sleep does, and they all need to know what you're going for. For example, if you're a Jhin, you have your 4th shot out. Lilia puts somebody asleep. As a Jhin, your initial idea is, I'm gonna run in and I'm gonna 4th shot them while they're asleep. But what you're supposed to do is wait for Lilia to W them, because that's one of the slowest moves in the game, so that she could get the bonus damage and then auto attack a split second after. But people don't do that. The Jhin will just walk up, boom, and then they're gonna wake up, they're not gonna die, they're gonna flash out. And then Lilia's sitting there still doing this fucking stupid thing. She's still running up doing this, fucking crying herself to sleep every goddamn night because you keep fucking waking up her ultimates before she could do her one burst. It's so annoying to play her, but she's an easy champion. She's definitely an easy peasy champion. Yasuo, it's weird because the only difficulty behind Yasuo is getting through early game. Yes, using your E in the right time and leaving minions behind you so that you could escape. And yes, there's EQ flash, which is pretty hard to do. But the hardest thing about Yasuo is getting through early. And then late game, he just kills you. He just wins. Yasuo late game is very, very, very easy to play. All you have to do is look at the situation and go R now or don't R now. And that's how you get there. He insta-blinks. He's there. Malphite did it. Doesn't matter where you are. Yasuo. I would say that Yasuo, he's a harder champion to play. He's definitely not easy peasy. But because of how difficult his early lane is, how difficult his early stages are, and how absolutely insanely hard it is to play Yasuo from behind, I would still say that he goes on the top. He's close, but he's on the top of the OK tier list. Taliyah, you know what's crazy about Taliyah? Is she's in the exact same position as Azir. Like when Taliyah was the strongest she has ever been and the strongest she will ever be in the game, people still didn't play Taliyah. If you miss Taliyah's fling, that's it. There goes all of your damage. There goes all of it. She goes right next to Azir. She's definitely easier than Azir, but still 100% do not main. Way too hard. Everything from dealing with her worked earth passive to her clearing path to landing her abilities to using her ultimate in a good way. Taliyah's just so hard to play. Soraka, now guys, this might piss some people off, okay? Soraka is hard as shit. When Soraka is ahead, she is more important to kill than anyone else. But guess how mobile she is? She tries to walk away. Does she just walk out? Does she just mosey on out of there? On top of that, I cannot think of a more high priority target than a fed Soraka. Like, I genuinely can't. Because if you look at a Soraka game, she will negate 2 champions worth of damage if she plays well. She will negate it. As in, go to your damage stats, look, next time you go into a game with a Soraka, go into the damage stats after and see that she has healed more damage than 2 of your champions have dealt. On top of that, Soraka's E stops everything. So if a Soraka uses her E correctly, that alone will change the tides of the fight. Her Q, that's an easy ability, and her W, it lowers your health for the majority of the game, so it makes you squishier, so it makes it easier for people to jump on you. But I don't think she's as hard as Taliyah. And I don't think she's as hard as Katarina either, or Ryze, or Aatrox. You know what? I'm going to put her here, and I'm going to move Yasuo up here. I got to move them around. She's the top of OK. She is knocking at the gate. Gwen, you want to know what's crazy about Gwen? Gwen is kind of a difficult champion. But the thing about Gwen is that she's so dog shit. And I don't know where to place her because she's so bad. They didn't make any items for her. There's no Gwen items. I say this every single time I talk about Gwen. Like, they made an AD character, and then somebody at the office spilled fucking chemical X on the computer, and now she's an AP character. Like, why did they do that? It's like she's an AP bruiser where no items feel great on her except for Riftmaker, right? And I guess Gnasher's Tooth a little bit, right? And she also has, like, I was playing a game of Ultimate Spellbook with Brandon. Brandon's a fucking Gwen main. He was fighting somebody, and they just walked away. What is she gonna do? Chase you? With her CC. She's gonna use her CC ability. That's what she's gonna do. She's gonna use her CC ability to chase you. Remember the CC that they gave her? You can't beat her in a fight, but you can walk away. On top of that, if you're trying to beat her in a fight, there's this crazy thing. Here's Gwen, right? Here's you. Rotate. Stay close to her and rotate. Rotate around her. Rotate around her. Why? Because the true damage is never going to hit you. Don't walk in a straight line. If you're running away from her in a straight line, you're stupid. All of her damage comes from her Q, right? All of her damage comes from her Q. And her ultimate hurts too as well, and it does slow, so there is that. But it's like, if they're walking away from you, you E, and then you auto, when are you going to Q? They're walking away. She is a dog shit champion. I think she's hard to play correctly, but not as hard as Yasuo. She is definitely difficult to play right because there's a lot of things about like how you weave your auto attacks, when you ult, how you chase, etc. And then fighting is all about dodging while you're still going in there and snippety dippity, right? But at the same time, she's just so bad. Nidalee is so goddamn hard. There has never been an easy Nidalee patch. Even at her strongest, you had to throw the spear and then you had to turn around and jump. And then on top of that, she's squishy. So now her damage is from throwing the spear, Wing in, and then Qing and Eing. But if you go in and don't one-shot them, you're gonna die. She is so fucking hard, dude. She is 100% do not main. Like, don't play her, bro. She's so hard. Kiana, holy shit, she is difficult. Because you have to constantly think about where you are on the map and what it allows you to do. Yes, the one thing that makes her easy is that her Bush W allows her to have vision. She has empowered auto attacks based on what thing she has. Her ultimate is only effective if you can get it off on the wall. And I promise you, if you do not one-shot them, you've lost. She is an absolute demon to play. She is so fucking hard. She's nowhere near as hard as Nidalee. Also, I gotta shuffle this top list. I'm gonna put Taliyah above. I'm gonna put Nidalee above Taliyah, honestly. Draven, the craziest thing about Draven is the Smurf champion. There is no champion that is more Smurf than Draven. Because whenever you see a Draven in your game, you're like, fucking Christ. And they're always playing with a Lulu or they're playing with a Yumi. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And another thing about Draven is you have to catch the axes, right? Do you know how good you have to be at a character to say, I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna stand right here. Do your best, you fucking loser. It's so hard. Draven has his W, which he uses to speed up. He could chase you down with it, but he also has to auto space the entire time. His ultimate's pretty easy. His stand aside is very, very clutch. But he's a Chad champion, and he's very, very, very hard to play. Draven is mechanically very demanding. He is a very mechanically demanding champion. So I'll put him right under Katarina. Teemo is mechanically in the same position as Draven, but there's something worse about Teemo, right? In order to play Teemo, you have to, first off, you only have one ability besides your shrooms. You can't rely on your shrooms. If they buy a sweeper, if you don't shroom in the exact spots, if they just happen to not be walking there, you're not going to land a shroom, right? So Teemo has his blind, and that's what he has to win on, right? That's what he blinds you, and then he auto attacks you, right? His W, move quickly. He doesn't move that quickly. They should call it move a little faster because it's not quick for damn sure, right? And all he does is he sits there and he auto attacks you, and then he auto attacks you, and then he auto attacks you. And if the enemy is smart enough and goes like Ghost Ignite, you blind, they chase you down, you fucking die. There's nothing you can do about it. Teemo is a hard champion, but again, it's the same thing as Draven, where it's not that he's hard as a champion, it's just that he requires so much understanding and mechanics in the game. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a get out of jail free card like everyone else does. The worst thing about Teemo, and I am going to put him on the top of OK, right? Or I'm going to put him above Callista. The worst thing about Teemo, you have to put down your mushrooms correctly. And you have to consistently put down your mushrooms correctly. And if you don't put down your mushrooms correctly, you're useless. But even if you put down your mushrooms correctly, they can just sweep them. So you're relying on them being dumb enough. Lee Sin, definitely below Taliyah, below Kiana as well. But the thing about Lee Sin, and here's the one thing I'm going to say about Lee Sin, is though you can play him well with relatively okay knowledge and stuff, Lee Sin, I think, has the highest skill cap in the entire game. I think that there is no skill cap higher than Lee Sin's. Lee Sin is the other Smurf champion because you have to be able to Q, W, ult, and then flash all in the same second. When you see a good Lee Sin, you just FF. There is no other champion that I can think of that when I see that they're good, I FF. Lee Sin is the one that's like, fuck. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to get out of here. It's just, don't main Lee Sin. He's so fucking hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, yes, you can get away with just Q into them. E, R, they died because you went Duskblade and his ratios are insane. But Lee Sin easily has the highest skill cap. Out of anyone I could think of, a good Lee Sin is not even the same champion as a bad Lee Sin. Kayn? Dude. You know, I don't want to piss off the Kayn mains. I really don't. But Kayn is just easy mode. He's just easy. You know, there is the argument, but he has transformations. You got to know which way to transform. His transformations don't make his abilities different. His W is the same. It's just one of them has a cast animation, one of them doesn't. One of them knocks you up, one of them doesn't. One form is faster, one of them's not. One heals on ultimate, one executes, right? Kayn is still one of the fastest clearers. He has the best gank path out of anyone in the game because Kayn can just walk through walls. Oh, but he's a transformation champion. It's not like Nidalee, where you have to know when to transform and what to... No. Kayn is literally like, are they squishy? Assassin. Do we need frontline? Rost. That's it. No need to think about pathing. You could do Gromp and Blue at the same time. Kled. This is going to be the one where I ask chat, where does Kled go? Because I don't know fucking shit about Kled. I cannot explain to you a Kled ability, except for the grab thing. Is he okay? I know managing around his passive is the only thing that's difficult. You know, that's it. Managing, like, as in when he turns into just lil man Kled. Kled not hard, he's just unpopular. And then he also just got nerfed, right? So I'll just put him in okay. That's chat's orders, not mine. Nobody flame me on the video. Don't flame me. Cassiopeia. I don't think Cassiopeia is as hard as everybody wants to say she is. But the very big thing that harms Cassiopeia is that she cannot buy boots. On top of that, she is wildly, and I mean wildly immobile. She gets move speed as things go on, so therefore she's a hyper-scaling champion. On top of that, I think Cassio might end up having a day of reckoning soon, specifically because they're slowing the pace of the game down. But still, I don't think Cassio is as hard as people say she is. You gotta land your Q, and if you land your Q, you win the trade. If you don't land your Q, back it up, you know? Just Q, and then E them down. What's hard on Cass is definitely mana management, because I don't think there's a champion in all of League of Legends that uses mana more than Cassio does, but that's it. So it's like she's not crazy hard. She can disengage with her W. I don't know why people always say that Cassio is such a hard champion, but I do understand that she has the same thing as Ryze, where she needs to get a little up close and personal in order to fight you. But if she sits there and actually tries to fight you, she'll probably beat your ass, because her damage ratios are fucking insane. I think she's definitely a difficult champion, but she's way easier than Ryze because she has the ultimate for the super duper disengage. I think she's easier than these two champions, but harder than Yasuo for sure. Now, this one is a huge one, okay? And we can all agree that this one is huge as shit. Gangplank is hard as hell. As in, I want to learn how to play GP just because of how absolutely hard he is. Let me whip out the training tool again. I gotta whip it out. Look at how hard this shit is to do. First off, your barrels, you have to time the exact moment that they're gonna be gone, because if an ADC has more attack speed than you, then they will attack it before you do, right? So you have to time it perfectly. On top of that, yes, you could have a barrel here, right? They're coming at you. You have to put that super preemptively, by the way, because at early stages of the game, look how long it takes for the barrels to fucking charge, You have to smack them once at early stages of the game. Yes, oh god, they're coming at me. I'm gonna run this way. And then you could do this. Oop, I messed up. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna do it again. How do you do the fucking long one? How do you do the long one, bro? Hey, stop fucking laughing, chat. I'll ban all of you. I don't give a shit. Don't suck. How do you do the long one? It's very easy to do this one. When you Q and then you put another one like over a wall or some shit. That's easy. Triple barreling is easy. This weird long range one, that one's hard. Anyways, Gangplank is hard as shit. On top of that, his ultimate mechanic, for those of you who don't know, what it is you have to farm with your Q or your barrel Q combo in order to get ultimate upgrades. So it's pretty freaking hard. All right, anyways, done talking about GP. GP is hard as shit. Definitely not harder than Nidalee, but harder than Taliyah for sure. Anivia. I don't even have much to say about Anivia. Okay, she's all right. She's below Kled. She's above Kled. She's above Alawi too. Nope, lower than Alawi. There's nothing about Anivia that makes her hard. No, you're right. She is an easy peasy. She definitely is an easy peasy. I'm going to remove the Akali because that was for memes. But yeah. Anivia, shit. Like, she's just land your skill shot or don't. And on top of that, oh, did they get you? You're an egg now. Riven. People want to sit there and act like Riven is an easy champion. She's so fucking hard. Riven is so hard to play. I've seen high-level Riven plays. I've watched high-level Riven players, and Riven is 99% dodging. You dodge. You E this way, you Q this way, you Q this way, and then you flash in, and then you Q, and then you W, and then you ult, and then you Q, and then you like, she's so ridiculously hard. There's the auto-canceling thing. I don't know if that's still around, but she is such a high skill cap champion. Like, yeah, they make it look easy, and then you play her. And exactly, Riven looks like an easy champion because you look at her, it's like 4 dashes. Yeah, I'll beat the shit out of anybody. With 4 dashes, I'm gonna beat the shit out of them. And then you dash in on them, and 1 Aatrox Q deals more damage than everything you did. It's so fucking hard. I wouldn't say that Riven is harder than GP though, but she is so hard. It's so ridiculously difficult, but I don't think she's harder than GP. I really don't. Orianna. People mentioned Orianna, and Orianna, like, she's slow. She deals a shit ton of damage, but she's slow as hell. And managing your ball, it's like doing 2 things at once. You know what I mean? Like those games that make you focus on 2 separate things at the same time. That's how Orianna works. You have to choose who you're going to ult on. You got to be in position for it, but I don't think she's ridiculous. I would say that Orianna is like, she's definitely not easy peasy. And she's definitely harder than like Kalista. But after that, just put your ball on the guy going in and then blow him up. I would say that she's okay, but she's getting close to insanely difficult, you know? Zed, you know what's fucking... Dude, Zed is definitely a hard champion. He is a very, very, very hard champion to play, but he also has this thing where he can't do... Like, he can't pop off as hard as he wants to because he's so limited by his energy usage. Like, Zed is very, very limited by his energy usage, which is why Zed will one-shot somebody. He will one-shot somebody and then he'd leave. It won't be like a reset champion like Katarina jumping around and killing this guy and jumping over here. He's just like, he's a very, very, very hard person to play because he does one thing. He gets in there, he hopefully kills somebody, and he gets out. And yes, he has an escape here, he has an escape here, and he has a flash. But doing that and balancing that, throwing your W before you R, or R'ing and then W so you can get a triple shuriken, all of that stuff is things you actually have to practice. I would say that Zed is insanely difficult, but he's not as hard as... He's harder than Cass for sure, and he's harder than Draven for sure, and he's harder than Katarina for sure. I don't think he's as hard as Ryze. Kindred? I think Kindred's hard. I think she's very hard. You guys might not agree, so I actually need you guys to help me out here. What do you guys think? Because she relies so much on her marks, but her marks are so defined by macro. Like very, very, very tight macro. Like choosing which crab to go to. Knowing when her marks start being in enemy jungle or dragons or barons. Knowing who you can mark and get a guaranteed kill on, etc., etc. And like her ultimate, if you ultimate incorrectly on Kindred, you're gonna get yelled at. You ultimate and a Katarina uses it to heal back up or whatever the fuck, you're gonna get yelled at. Because her ultimate can destroy your team's chances at winning. I wouldn't even say her abilities are easy. Like, using her shit correctly is hard. It's hard. I mean, her E auto isn't that bad, but everything else is pretty freaking hard. Kindred, I'd say she's insanely difficult. I'll put her above Yas. I'll put her above Cassio and Draven as well. You know what? I'll put her above all these people. Kindred's hard, bro. She's hard. Not harder than Zed, for sure. Not harder than Zed or Katarina. There you go. She goes above Draven. Viego, guys, look, all right? Look, I need you guys to fucking listen to me, all right? Because I was the person that put Viego on here. I'll take it. You know, yell at me. I don't give a shit. I was the one that put Viego on here. You want to know why? Because you have to know how to do every ability on here to be good at Viego. You have to know how to do every ability on here. Every single ability on here, you have to know how to do. Every single one. If Viego transforms to the start, you have to into the shield, throw your heal, summon Viego cannon, once they're stunned, transform back into Viego, and then kill Lee Sin, and then transform Lee Sin, one hot high, one hot somewhere, 2 E, once they're going to transformation, all again, so Viego, he gets high on this list because in order to play him right, you have to play his passive. And his passive is knowledge on every single character on here. It's very, 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 very hard. It's very, 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 very hard. You know what I mean? It's very hard. Yes, it is. Generally, if you can have passive stuff, is that not you? Okay, sorry. This is not good. Anyways, let's move on. Skarner, I don't know why anyone said Skarner. I don't get it. Skarner, I love Skarner. I want to say that Skarner's about to be pretty fucking good unless they nerf Chemtank. Chemtank is very good on Skarner. The thing about Skarner, right, is that Skarner does a decent amount of damage, but he also has one of the most, I don't know the word for it, cucking ultimates in the game. It's a Warwick ult, but he takes you home. He just keeps you. Motherfucker throws you in a backpack, takes you home, shows you to his parents. Well, not his parents. With Skarner's ganks, though, right, you go turbo Chemtank, and then you run, right, and then you grab somebody, and then you take them home. And I always hear this. I hear the exact same thing all the time. Just build a QSS. If your only counter to something is to spend 1,100 gold, do you understand how much it fucks you? And don't forget that it takes one of your item slots. Now you can't get 6 items. Or you can and get a Mercurial. That's super good. That's gonna be good for you. The Mercurial's gonna save you now. Skarner's fun. He's super, and I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry for saying this, but he's super easy. I'd say that Skarner is easier than all of these characters. Throw your E and auto attack them. Oh, are you clearing the jungle? Mash Q. You don't even got to look. Just mash Q. There's nothing hard about that character. Except for, you know, probably hanging out with him. Because he's so sad all the time. I'm going to actually do Akali for real, okay? I'm going to actually do Akali for real. I'll do it, because everybody keeps bringing up Akali. And it's been kind of a meme this entire time. I will admit that Akali's pretty fucking hard. But the only reason she's hard is because her kit was built for her being different than she is now. I don't think she is as hard as any of these people. I don't think she's harder than Soraka. Hell, I don't even think she's harder than Teemo or Orianna. But I will put her above Kalista. Ophelios? The weird thing about Ophelios is that Ophelios' entire shit is read the manual. Do you know what Gravitum does? Cool. What other gun do you have? Flamethrower? Now you can 5-man Gravitum. Do you know what Crescendum does? What other gun do you have? Flamethrower? Now you could get a bunch of shurikens and kill anybody. I would say that when it gets to maximizing his potential, he's definitely harder to play than Kindred. But at the end of the day, Ophelios' entire shit is analyzing the fight before the fight. Ophelios in teamfights isn't hard. Ophelios in teamfights is like, what guns do I have? Play around it. What's hard about Ophelios is, what guns do I have? Okay, that's how I should play the fight. It doesn't necessarily come in mechanics. It comes in understanding. Rengar, you know what's crazy? And I know this is a super duper duper bad take, right? But Rengar, he's hard to play well because there's so much you need to understand on that character to know what to do with your empowered. But that is the thing that's hard about him. What's hard about Rengar is getting to that stage. In fact, Riot Games themselves thought it was so hard that they were going to make it take 3 abilities to use your empowered, remember? And then everybody got mad at them. You need to have such an understanding of Rengar to do him right. And now I know this is a little bit inting, but also don't forget that Rengar can be played in a lot of different ways. A lot of champions on this list can't. But Rengar, you could play him bruiser, right? You could play him top lane. You could play him AP, which there's a guy who got challenger with it. You know what I mean? Like, you could play Rengar in a huge variety of ways. Rengar is very feast or famine. But another thing that makes Rengar hard, right, is, you know, because you don't think about this if you don't play the guy. He's immobile. You never think about that. Like, yes, if you ult, you can go in and auto attack, or if he has bushes, then he could do it. But when you're like in the river, you're fucked. What are you gonna do? Not to mention, what is it now? 2 dragons now? 2 out of the 6 dragons burn bushes. What do you do? That's his whole shit. And they get burned. What are you gonna do? He's so weird, man. I would say that Rengar, to play very well, I would say that he's very difficult. However, I wouldn't say he's hard. I don't know. I wouldn't know if he's harder or easier than Gwen, because Gwen only needs to worry about one lane, whereas Rengar could be played a variety of ways. I'll make him harder than Gwen, though, because of how ridiculously shit he is when he's behind. This is a devil's advocate stream, huh? I mean, it has been. Dude, I think this is the most I've ever been disagreed with. I don't care. You know, my opinions aren't fucking gospel. I could be wrong. I want you guys to understand that. I could be wrong. I don't give a fuck. That's all right. You guys can completely disagree. Victor, y'all ain't gonna like this. Y'all ain't gonna like this one. Yeah, I think Victor's easier than Anivia. He's pretty easy. He could laser from Howling Abyss to Summoner's Rift and still get the fucking farm. Bro, he's so simple. The evolution thing is hard. But it's just farm and then get your evolution. Just farm. All right, you know what? I'll give you guys the fan vote. We'll put him at the bottom of okay. Deal. He's at the bottom of okay. All right. Now, let's do it. Let's do it, guys. This is going to be a very, very, very special case. I am going to say that Arsol is 100% at the top of Do Not Main. And it's for a lot of reasons. One, Arsol is a very weird champion to play. You know, using your Q, using your E to come in correctly and making it effective, using your W at the right time, using your W for the move speed, using your R, etc., right? Long story short, though, it's just Arsol is a weird character. But the other thing I was going to say about Arsol that kind of sucks, and it's kind of a depressing thing, is that Aurelion Sol isn't worth maining because he has exactly high risk, time investment, and when people get good at Arsol, it seems like he gets nerfed instantly. Like, Arsol is the most, like, fucked over champion by Riot. They fuck him over all the time. All the time. Like, they just don't like him. And if you were an Arsol main before, you have to play him significantly different than you have to play him now. You know what I mean? Because his E is different now. Like, you don't have to, like, do the thing where you have to keep moving straight to charge it faster or some shit. His W's a toggle now. Like, it doesn't matter. Maining him is a bad idea because chances are, if you main him, he's either going to get nerfed or changed or just reworked altogether. You know, it's just not worth it. He is the most not worth it character to play on this list. Yeah, you can't hide in the bushes. You can't, like, he is so bad. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it, Nicky Boy. A very good way to put it. Why spend 3,000 games to accomplish on Aesol what literally any other roaming champion can do in 5? He's so awkward. He's such an awkward character. You know what? We'll give him his own tier. Fuck it. There you go. And we'll put him right up there. There you go. Not mainable. Riot hates you. That's it. And that's the top of the list. His movement is basically his entire kit and dictates exactly. That's a very big thing, Sona. And not to mention that we everyone knows it. It's like the meme, right? Like the meme is, oh, there's so much mobility creep in League of Legends. Oh, everybody has dashes. Now imagine a character that relies on being able to keep people in place by just moving better. Like, our soul is so hard. Like, look at this list. This is not on purpose. You guys voted for this list on Twitter. Almost everyone on this list can get into Arsoul stars. They could CC him, they can hurt him. Like, yeah, like Arsoul is just not mainable. And it's a complete unique situation. Because it's like, do not main because they're too hard. Arsoul is the only character that I genuinely mean this. Do not main him because it is not worth it. It is not worth maining. Well, there you have it, gamers. That's it. That's the tier list. I know there's some stuff on here that you guys don't agree with. And I know there's a lot of champions that you guys probably wish you saw on here. But don't forget that we did this all on Twitter, and we'll be doing more stuff like that. So if you want to participate, follow me, twitter.com/ScoochLol or @ScoochLol, whatever, so that you can participate in this stuff too. Now, please, for the love of God, let me know in the comment section below who you think is the hardest champion to play, because I probably missed them completely. Or maybe you just don't think it's Arsoul and it's someone on this list. And I would love to hear it. Whether you disagree with me or if you don't disagree with me, I still love you regardless. Anyways, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.